Potter profile on Justin Finch-Fletchley. Justin was completely unaware of his magic, so he was originally going to Eton Public School until he received his Hogwarts admission letter. Justin went to Hogwarts in 1991 and was sorted into Hufflepuff. His mother was very uneasy about him going to Hogwarts, but before his second year, he gave his mother the Gilderoy Lockhart books. These stories convinced her that having a wizard in the family was something to be proud of. In his second year, he was grouped with Harry Potter, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger in herbology. He was very excited to be working with the trio and complimented Harry on defeating Professor Quirrell last year, Hermione on her intelligence, and Ron on his dad's flying forward Anglia. The conversation ended when everyone needed to put on their earmuffs to keep themselves safe from the mandrake's screams when repotting them. In their defence against the dark arts lesson with Gilderoy Lockhart, Lockhart unleashed a cage full of freshly caught Cornish pixies. Justin tried to save his books from the pixies' path of destruction, but they were already ruined. He quickly gave up and ran out of the classroom with most of his fellow students. On Halloween, the Chamber of Secrets was opened and Mrs. Norris was petrified and hung on the wall next to the Enemy of the Air Beware message. Justin believed the rumours that Harry might have been the heir of Slytherin and would run away from Harry if he tried to talk to him. Justin was afraid he would be the next victim as he told Harry he was a Muggleborn. In December, Justin joined Lockhart's duelling club. Justin was paired up with Neville Longbottom to practice casting Expelliarmus. The pair were not particularly good at casting the spell, and both ended up lying on the floor, like most of the other students, as Lockhart had forgot to teach the students how to block the spell. Lockhart originally asked Justin and Neville to demonstrate how to duel in front of the class, but Snape dismissed the idea because of Neville's lack of talent. Snape then decided to put Draco against Harry instead. During the duel, Draco cast Serpent Sortia, which conjured up a snake. Lockhart, trying to be a show-off, attempted to vanish the snake, but instead flipped it into the air and landed back onto the floor, which made it extremely angry. The snake landed in front of Justin and prepared to attack. Harry, through Parseltongue, commanded the snake to stop. The snake turned towards Justin and proceeded to attack until it turned to Harry and obeyed its command. Although Harry stopped the attack, no one else could speak Parseltongue, and it appeared to everyone, and especially Justin, that Harry was encouraging the snake to attack. Justin, terrified, shouted at Harry, "What are you playing at?" and ran away with some members of Hufflepuff before Harry could explain what had really happened. Because being a Parselmouth was what Salazar Slytherin was known for, Justin and the rest of Hufflepuff House believed that Harry must have been the heir of Slytherin and consequently had chosen Justin as his next victim, especially as Justin had told Harry he was a Muggleborn a few days prior. A few days later, a blizzard hit the castle, which in turn cancelled Justin's herbology lesson. Ernie Macmillan, one of Justin's best friends, told Justin to stay in the Hufflepuff common room. On his way, he met Nearly Headless Nick. While they were both talking, they both saw the basilisk. Thankfully, Justin saw the basilisk through Nearly Headless Nick, which protected him from dying instantly, but could not, however, prevent him from being petrified alongside Nearly Headless Nick. He was later found and taken up to the hospital wing with the other petrified victims. Later on in the year, Harry killed the basilisk and the mandrake drought was finally ready for the victims. During the end of the year feast, Justin went over to Harry and apologised for believing he was the heir. After the events of Justin's second year, Harry and Justin were friends, but this changed when Harry's name came out of the Goblet of Fire, and he became the second Hogwarts champion in the Triwizard tournament on Halloween. Justin, like most of the other Hufflepuffs, believed Harry wanted to steal the glory away from Cedric Diggory, the original Hogwarts champion. Justin ignored Harry completely, but one day in herbology, they were repotting bouncing bulbs and had to use the same tray. One of the plants smacked Harry in the face. Ernie Macmillan and Justin Finch-Fletchley, with whom Harry normally got on well, did not talk to him even though they were repotting bouncing bowls at the same tray. Though they did laugh rather unpleasantly when one of the bouncing bowls wriggled free from Harry's grip and smacked him hard in the face. At the end of the year, their relationship had improved. When Cedric sadly died at the final task of the Triwizard tournament by Voldemort, Justin believed Harry that Voldemort had returned. In his 5th year, the Ministry started to interfere at Hogwarts and sent Dolores Umbridge to be High Inquisitor as well as the new Defence Against Dark Arts teacher, but refused to teach any defensive spells. Justin, alongside Hannah Abbott, Susan Bones and Ernie Macmillan, went to listen to Hermione's proposal to perform a Defence Against the Dark Arts club with Harry as the teacher. Justin and his friends all signed up to be members of Dumbledore's army. The first EA meeting was held in the Room of Requirement. Justin was paired up with Luna Lovegood to practice Expelliarmus. Luna Lovegood was similarly patchy, occasionally sending Justin Finch-Fletchley's wand spinning out of his hand, at other times merely causing his hair to stand up on end. At the end of the year, Justin, Hannah, Ernie, Susan, Anthony Goldstein and Terry Boot all shared the same compartment on the Hogwarts Express on their way back to platform 9 3/4. Justin and his friends all witnessed Malfoy alongside Crabbe and Goyle attacking Harry outside their compartment door. Without hesitation, they all came to Harry's aid, using the spells Harry had taught them that year during the DA meetings. The duel ended when Malfoy and his posse were all turned into 3 gigantic slugs. Justin, alongside Ernie, moved the slugs into the luggage rack. When Voldemort took over the Ministry, Muggleborns were no longer allowed to attend Hogwarts. It is unknown what happened to Justin during this school year, but there are only 3 possible options. 1. He was prosecuted and sentenced by the Muggleborn Registration Commission. 2. Went on the run / went into hiding from the Snatchers. Or 3. Managed to leave the country. It is not confirmed, but it's possible that Justin could have returned to fight in the Battle of Hogwarts. If Justin had survived the Second Wizarding War, it is highly likely that he attended the Dumbledore's Army reunion at the Quidditch World Cup.